The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. I'm Andy MacNeil, your host. I'm here on weekdays to provide NHL projections, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. This show is presented by NorthStar Bets. You can check them out via the link in the description below. Good old Canadian sportsbook. We've been able to get down on some great numbers. Unfortunately, our smaller three-quarter unit bet on the Tampa Bay Lightning did not go our way on Wednesday. Trying to remember what day it was. Today is Thursday. So got that straight now. But yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they came out looking pretty good, I thought, in the first period. And at the point when the Rangers went up by 2, kind of just felt like it was over at that point. The Lightning weren't skating in the second period. Of course, Mikhail Sergachev gets stretchered off the ice, and that doesn't look good for his season. He just came back from an injury, and now it looks like he's maybe suffered a season-ending injury. I'll be honest, I did not watch the replay. I know that the broadcast replayed it several times, but I just at the point where his knee and leg is about to buckle underneath his body, I turned away. So I haven't actually saw the entirety of the play. But based on the first 3/4 of the replay that I saw, it looked like it was pretty bad. Jake, did you see that one last night?
I didn't see it. I'm the same as you. I can't really stomach those things. Like right when it's about to happen, I turn away. I remember
Yeah.
earlier in the football season, Nick Chubb, the running back for the Cleveland Browns, had
Oh,
a
that's right.
horrible
Yeah.
backwards knee injury, and I did eventually watch it. But it's tough. It's tough to see those guys go down like that. It's just totally bad luck.
Yeah, that's tough for the Lightning and tough um and tough for Mikhail Sturgachev. Jeff in the chat saying excellent article today by Jesse Granger in the Athletic using high low danger shots and which teams are making it easier or harder on their goaltenders. Um yeah, I'd rather use expected goals. I don't like high low danger shots because I think that you're kind of lumping some shots in that are probably shouldn't be lumped in together. There's a fine line between um, you know a very dangerous shot and a medium dangerous shot, etc. And I think they're kind of all getting lumped in together a little bit. I know you can and there's a little bit more nuance to it as well, right? With the things that expected goals captures that high danger chances don't capture. So I'll check out that article, but yeah, I'd lean towards using expected goals to break down which teams are making it easier or harder on their goaltenders. But yeah, thanks, Jeff. I will check that out. Man, I don't even know if I have a subscription to the Athletic anymore. To be honest, I think I might have let it run out because it was. Outside of Dom Luszczyszyn's stuff, which I try to keep up with, he does a good job and really really different than what anybody else is doing as far as the modeling and stuff. So I like Dom's stuff obviously, but yeah, I might have to re-up my subscription because I think it just ran out. But yeah, I don't find myself on the Athletic a lot. I mean their content, their coverage, specifically of the NHL, I wasn't really paying attention to anything else they were doing. It's gone way downhill though. A lot of good writers that were there. I think Charlie Conway for the Philadelphia Flyers. He was there doing a lot of great Flyers content, a lot of great analytics content, and now they've got Kevin Kurz writing about the Philadelphia Flyers. I could give two fucks about what Kevin Kurz has to think about anything related to hockey. So yeah, I mean it's gone downhill big time. Kind of always knew that was the case. Nobody ever lives up to what they say. I mean, look at the Steve Dangle podcast this year. They were going to be different, right? And they laid off half their workforce. So, yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. No, I was pretty fed up with the Athletic though. So, I mean, it got kind of actually, a little bit like it started to piss me off. Like I'd log on to read some good stuff, and it would just be, um, you know, I don't know, man. They've got a handful of writers there that are doing some good stuff outside of that. Um, it's uh it's nothing close to what it used to be. So yeah. Um. Anyway, let's get into the projections because the big news here is Jack is back. Jack Hughes, back in the Devils lineup. He confirmed that himself. So New Jersey's projection changing from minus 120, which is what I had yesterday without Jack Hughes in the lineup, to minus 149, which is last I looked where NorthStar Bets was for this one. So doesn't look like there's going to be a chance here to bet the Devils, and it's going to have to go a long way in order to bet the Flames. So yeah, New Jersey up to minus 150 at NorthStar Bets, Calgary at plus 123. My line now at minus 149 according to the model. So I'd need this one to move a lot, and I'm going to need Calgary up into the plus 160s before I will consider betting on the Flames and fading the return of Jack Hughes. So it doesn't look like I'm going to do that, but something to keep in mind, I guess. Now that the market is, pretty much where it should be in relation to the New Jersey Devils, and of course we've got a good number on the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm sure some of you thought, what the hell is this guy betting the Hurricanes at minus 120 on Wednesday? They're playing the Avs on Thursday. Is this really a great spot to take a minus 120 price? Well, yeah, it looks like it is. The Hurricanes up to minus 141 at NorthStar Bets. And I believe if you shop around, I mean, if you took the minus 120 on Carolina, you could, win yourself 5 cents guaranteed by taking the other side right now, because I believe you can get Colorado plus 125. Not that you should do that. Why would you bet against yourself when you've got a bunch of expected value accumulated? And speaking of expected value, took a chance betting on the Panthers at minus 215 on the show yesterday. Once again, some of you were probably thinking, what the hell? What's this guy doing laying minus 215 on an NHL money line? Well, the Panthers are now minus 275 at NorthStar Bets. So, hey, if you want to buy off, you can get the Capitals at plus 215 or probably around plus 235. So yeah, two good bets locked in for Thursday. We've got the Hurricanes minus 120 and the Panthers minus 215. Hurricanes to win 0.75 units and the Panthers to win 1 unit. So when the Hurricanes get our bet back that we lost last night on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and win the Panthers, and we're up a unit. So over the last couple of days. So that is that'd be pretty good. And I guess if you add in Monday, we'd be up almost 3 units because we had a good Monday or good Tuesday, sorry, with 1.7 units winning both of our bets. So yeah. Moving on, of course, big game between the Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins. I mean, if you shop around, it's kind of getting to the point where I would almost consider a bet on the Vancouver Canucks here. Not sure if it's quite there yet. No, plus 122 looks to be the best price in market. So it's getting there. It's close to the point where I could justify making a small bet on the Canucks. I'd want to know that Thatcher Demko is going to be in goal, though. If I'm going to bet the Canucks around that, plus 125-ish price range. I'd want to know that he's in goal. And it looks like Brad Marchand is going to play. He is not practicing today, but the team says it's just a maintenance day and that he is going to play for the Boston Bruins tonight when they host the Canucks. So the model thinks that Boston should be a minus 117 favorite. And they are minus 132, plus 110 on the other side for the Vancouver Canucks, which is exactly where it was when we wrapped up Wednesday's show. So didn't act on any of either of those prices on Wednesday's show, and we were right to do that. Winnipeg Jets, Philadelphia Flyers. This one, same thing, exactly where it was yesterday, minus 143 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets, plus 120 on the Philadelphia Flyers. Samuel Urson is going to get the start in goal for the Flyers. Talked a little bit about Tampa Bay and how Mikhail Sergachev suffered an injury last night. He's not going to play, obviously, on Thursday. Tampa Bay is back in action against the New York Islanders, and they are a plus 116 underdog now. The Islanders minus 141. The model now makes the Islanders minus 117, and that has partly that so yesterday I had the Isles, I think, listed around, or the Lightning listed around minus 112, I believe. So that was because I didn't know whether Vasilevsky was going to start yesterday or today. Of course, he did start yesterday. And that means that Jonas Johansson is probably going to be in goal today, almost certainly in goal today for the New York Islanders. Combine that with the injury to Sergachev, and you've now had the Islanders as a short favorite, minus 117. But like I said, they are minus 141 at NorthStar Bets. So too big to bet, and would want a pretty big price, probably around the I mean, not super confident in my projection here, so I'd probably want around plus 130 before I'd even consider looking at the Lightning at this point. So the last game is the Vegas Golden Knights minus 143 at NorthStar Bets on the money line. Total of 5.5. That is the second game. The Flyers also have a total of 5.5. And if you've been following along, I've been telling you guys for a while now that these totals that have been set at 5.5 have gone over around 60% of the time this season, upwards of about 70% of the time when you look just from December 1st on. So, yeah, I mean, I might be thinking November 1st on. I'm gonna have to double check that, get back to you tomorrow. But yeah, these totals as a whole have not been priced very good. So you've only got to look towards the over, I think, in these games for the most part. But not gonna do that here at this time. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add any more bets. Looking ahead to Friday, though, of course, we'll be back on Friday's show to talk Saturday's NHL odds, but we'll look ahead to Friday right now quickly. And I like the Pittsburgh Penguins at minus 110. They've got a bit of a rest advantage here over the Wild. The Wild have had 1 day off, and Pittsburgh will have had 2 days off. Of course, they're coming up off a big 3-0 shutout win at home versus the Winnipeg Jets. The Wild were in action on Wednesday. They defeated the Chicago Blackhawks, narrowly defeated the Chicago Blackhawks, I guess I should say. But the model has the Pittsburgh Penguins at minus 124. So I can justify locking in the Penguins at minus 110. Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to just double check what my stake is. So did you see the news about John Tavares, Jake?
I did not know what's going on.
He's taken the CRA to court over an $8 million tax bill.
Yes. Yeah, I did actually see
I
that.
didn't read the full story. I don't have all the details. I might get something wrong. I believe it was a $15 million signing bonus, and the tax bill is like $8 million. Up in the 40% or 50%, or yeah, 15 million. That's what it is. So, pretty big bill, but like, welcome to Canada, bud.
I'd say it wants to pay American taxes in Canada. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. He's trying to cite some U.S. Canada tax treaty or something like that, and as to why he shouldn't have to pay it, I believe. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how any of it works in regards to the NHL and all that stuff. So yeah, I can justify betting 1.1 units to win 1 unit on the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that's what I'm going to do. Minus 110 at NorthStar Bets. Looks to be the price that a lot of sports books are putting up. So might be able to find that if you shop around, even if you don't have access to NorthStar Bets here in Canada. So yeah, to win 1 unit, Pittsburgh Penguins. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably gonna save my sympathy for average people, hardworking people that are, you know, grinding to make like low 6 figures and getting taxed like 35% or whatever it is. Like, I'll probably have more sympathy for them. I'm sorry, John Tavares. I don't care whether things work out in your favor or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to drum up sympathy, and it comes at a bad time too, because I think Leafs fans are kind of turning on him at the same time, based on his play this year. So
Yeah, I
that's
saw one of the things is like this could jeopardize John Tavares' future as a Maple Leaf, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure Toronto would be like, fuck yeah. Not that he's not a good player, but I mean, he's definitely overpaid,
yeah, not worth that
and
contract.
yeah, and he's just corny. Him, Mitch Marner, two of the corniest players in the NHL, in my opinion.
I remember it was like a couple of years ago now. He's probably outgrown it, but I think Austin Matthews said that like when the rest of them were always palling around on the plane, Mitch Marner would just be sitting there watching Pixar movies by himself, and I was like, that's the perfect image of Mitch Marner that I have in my head.
Yeah, man. Okay, so now that that's over with, don't really have a lot of interest in those other games, the Rangers and the Blackhawks. Obviously, New York is a big favorite. I think they should be in the minus 235 range. They are minus 295 at NorthStar Bets. Chicago plus 235. Um, I don't know that I would actually bet the Blackhawks, even if there is a bit of value there. And Edmonton minus 286. The model has them at minus 298. So a little bit of value there, but that's a big price and a very tiny amount of line value to talk about. But let's get into some big picture stuff, shall we? Um, we're talking about rest. So, Jake, if you don't mind bringing up that kind of the one smaller image with kind of the general overview. Thank you very much. So this is going to be a bit skewed, but this is the home rest differential dating back to the start of the 2022-23 season. So the I think the first thing that you'll notice is that there are some very small sample sizes here. So there have only been 5 games in which the home team has been at a -4 day rest differential. So that means that maybe the home team had 1 day off, but the road team had 5 days off. So the rest differential was 4 days. So there haven't been a lot of situations where the home team has been at a big rest disadvantage. So there's only been um, 14 instances where they've had a -3 day rest differential. So, you know, that's something to take into account here for sure. And the same thing on the other side. There haven't been that many times, just 9 games in the last 2 seasons to date, where a team has had a 4 day or a 4 day rest advantage at home versus a road team. So definitely something to keep in mind here as you look at this data. But I think the big takeaways here is that neutral, when neither team has a rest advantage, the home team wins 52.2% of the time, uh, despite average odds being around 55.6%. So right off the bat, it seems like home ice advantage is being overvalued, given that teams, when they don't have a rest advantage, only win 52.2% of the time. Now if you break that down team by team, it can get pretty kind of, it can get confusing, let's just say. But I think there are some big takeaways here, and I think that the neutral states where neither team has a big rest advantage really tell us a lot here. So looking at the home team, the neutral home teams, you can see Boston has the best record, 25-8 over the last 2 seasons, the regular seasons, as in home games in which neither team has an advantage in the rest department. Boston, Tampa Bay, the Rangers, Carolina, Vegas, Edmonton, Vancouver, Colorado, Los Angeles, Dallas. Not a surprise to see some of these teams. Ottawa, a bit surprising. They've got a 17-9 record at home over the last 2 seasons, when they are, on even terms in the rest department with their opponent. But man, the Senators, they they have not performed well in other situations. They're a team that sticks out to me as one that, I mean, wow, they have gone 3-11 on the road. I'm not going to try to get you to keep up with this, Jake. I know there's a lot here, but they've gone 3-11 on the road, just a 21.4% win rate on the road when the home team has more rest, and 4-5 when they are rested. So, man, the Senators not the Senator. That's the thing that really sticks out to me, and I think one of the early takeaways, kind of looking at the team by team stuff, is that the Sens, they've got a grind of a schedule. They're in that spot like Montreal where they're going to play a lot of back to backs. They're gonna, so they've got to really, they've got to really get some gumption, I guess I would say, to win in the regular season. It's not going to be easy, so they're going to need more than just talent, etc. They're going to need a good goaltending tandem, which I think we thought they might have this season, but it has not worked out that way. But no surprise, the bad teams are even worse in a lot of situations here when they are tired. So on the road, when teams are tired over the last two seasons, the Blackhawks, they've got the worst record at 5-20. The Sharks are next at 7-13. Columbus 3-16. Arizona 1-12 on the road when they've got less rest than their opponents. So definitely some stuff to dive into here. So this is kind of like the second part of my work. I spent all afternoon yesterday compiling this data, making sure that it all matched up with my other database, and now I'm going to start kind of diving into it and trying to find the biggest takeaways, and get an article up on canadasportsbetting.ca in the coming days, just kind of detailing maybe some rules of thumb, but I think the biggest takeaway is that rest is overvalued by the market, which isn't surprising. So if you look, when the home team has 1 day's rest, their average odds are 56.9. So that's up around the minus 130 range, but they only win 55% of the time. When they've got 2 day rest advantage, their average odds, once again, up around 57% this time. So a little bit more. 57.6% of the time, but they're only winning around 53% of the time. So while you might see a little bit of 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 a difference there when you look at the 3 day rest differential, because the home team is 25-7 over the last two seasons. That's a 78.1% win rate, against average odds that are closer to 58%. That's a small sample, and in the past, teams with 3 and 4 days rest have not won at that high of a rate. The middle categories, the 2 days, 1 day rest, -1, -2 days rest, those middle categories with a little bit of a bigger sample to work with, they are more or less static. You look through the years, I think they match up more with what we've seen. So, but just, I guess, to kind of close up the discussion, I'll see if anybody has any questions in the chat. I'm sure things are a little bit more quiet today, given that everybody got what they wanted yesterday in terms of the picks for Thursday. But yeah, so when the teams are neutral as far as the rest goes, when neither team has an advantage in the rest department, the away team wins 48% of the time, and when they are tired, they win 40. Oh, wait a sec. I was looking at the wrong column. Sorry. Yeah. 47.8% of the time in neutral conditions. When they're tired, that drops to 44.5% of the time. When they're rested, that rises to 49% of the time. So you can kind of see how that operates. And then when you switch to the home side, the home team, as I said before, they win roughly 52% of the time. When they are tired, that drops to 51%. This is over the last two seasons. When they're rested, when they have more rest than the road team, they win 57.5% of the time. So you can see how rest impacts the home team and the away team, over the last two seasons. And I'm going to compile all of this into some, I guess, something useful because it's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of data to take in. That's for sure. And But there are some. I think there are some worthwhile conclusions to try to jump to here about some teams and about the league as a whole. But I would think the biggest takeaway after looking at this stuff for a few hours now is that, yeah, the market, betters, recreational betters, they're overvaluing when teams are in the, have an advantageous rest spot. There is a little bit too much stock put into that. So that's something to keep in mind when handicapping your NHL games in the future. Jake, any big takeaways for you, or you just kind of dozing off there?
No, I mean it's interesting, and like I think you said yesterday that the home ice advantage is being overstated, especially in betting terms. So it's super interesting to see, and then it's also really interesting to see the unlikely teams that have major advantages, whether it be on the road or at home. I'd have to double check, but I think the Habs are certainly much better on the road, and a lot of their rookies play better on the road, which is an interesting factor. The rookies maybe feel a little bit too much pressure at the Bell Center. They kind of come out of their shell and play a little bit looser on the road. So, yeah, it's super interesting to kind of dive into that stuff.
Yeah. So speaking of Montreal, they are 16 and 20, so 44.4% win rate on the road in neutral conditions over the last two seasons. 5 and 10, 33% win rate when they are the tired team. And 4 and 11, 27% win rate when they are the rested team on the road. So that's kind of funny, but when they are, when they're kind of evenly matched with their opponent, things seem to be all right. But yeah, maybe a little too much partying on the road for Montreal with those rest days.
Yeah, I mean,
Cole
but
Caulfield, the cock of the walk.
you can't party much harder than in Montreal. So they
Yeah,
probably
true
take it
enough.
easy
True
on the
enough.
road.
Yeah. The Habs actually, I mean, once again, in neutral conditions, 18 and 22 at home, 45% win rate against average odds. So the odds expect Montreal to win around 39.6% of the time, but they've won 45% of the time in those situations. So once again, right? Like, um, no, I think like the market is maybe not putting enough stock into the fact that, neither team has a rest advantage, right? I think that is a big part of home ice advantage, in my opinion. And, I think what we see here is in situations where that's not a factor, where both teams have had, 2 days off or 1 day off or whatever. The market still acts as if the home team gets that added boost. So, I think that kind of shows up in a lot of situations, and I'm gonna try to break that down. Hopefully, when I do, I can break it down into a video that's not a live stream. But part of doing the live stream is I wanted to I wanted to get you guys involved in the discussion, right? And show you the work that goes into handicapping the NHL at this scale and winning at sports betting. I mean, if you've never spent a day kind of putting together something like this to research a sports betting topic, you probably shouldn't be gambling. Like I think it really takes a lot of work to make informed choices here when it comes to sports betting, and if you're not willing to put in the work, then maybe this isn't for you. All right, maybe this isn't for you. Gambling ain't for everybody. It's not. um, but yeah, pretty. Like I said, pretty dull slate today. We've got two bets, two good lines. Got a bet for tomorrow on the Pittsburgh Penguins at -110, but yeah, probably gonna look for one like just like yesterday. Gonna hunker down and start turning this into something that can help you guys in the future and throughout the rest of the season. Maybe um, point you in the right direction as far as where some of the value might be in the NHL money line market. But if you haven't already, which it doesn't look like you have, because I mean, geez, likes are not looking good today. What the hell, guys? drop a like on the video and subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. Going to try to set up a guest spot for tomorrow's show, and obviously dive into the big Saturday slate. Just 3 games to look at for Friday, but there will be lots to look at on Saturday, so that's what we're going to focus on. Of course, lots of Super Bowl content over at CanadaSportsBetting.ca, so check that out. Keep your eyes peeled for this article related to the home and road rest data, and yeah, we'll talk to you on Friday about some more hockey betting stuff. All right, thanks for joining the show. We'll see you tomorrow.